What up, Jippers? LPlay's back, and today we've got some Hello Games news to talk about that isn't No Man's Sky related. I know, absolutely freaking crazy at a time like this. How could LPlay's not be talking about No Man's Sky? We've got the Beyond Mega Update coming very soon. We've got 2 parts of that have now been announced. No Man's Sky Online, and of course, freaking No Man's Sky VR mode, which has just made all of my dreams come true, and more. And we haven't even gotten to the good stuff yet. Of course, the final part of the update is going to be the big one. They're saving the best till last. We don't know what it is. I've definitely got plenty of ideas, and there will be some speculation videos to come about the third part of the update and what I think about No Man's Sky Online and what that's going to be. But right now, just a short video to talk about something that seems to have gone mostly unnoticed by pretty much everyone that I think is really exciting. And this one is a little bit strange. For those that don't know, on March the 25th, not only did we get the No Man's Sky announcements, but there was also an Apple event. Apple hosted one of their live events where they come out and talk about new products and services that they're releasing. A new gaming service, which they're calling Apple Arcade. Now, bear with me, this does tie back to Hello Games. I promise, although you're thinking, what the heck? There is a definite link between these two things, so just hold tight. But first, let me explain what Apple Arcade is. It's basically going to act as Apple's new gaming platform, a subscription-based service where you'll be able to play and have access to hundreds and hundreds of video games that are created for iOS that will work across all of your Apple devices, your phones, your tablets, your Macs, anything in the Apple ecosystem. You download Apple Arcade on it from the App Store, you open it up, and if you paid for access to the service, you'll be able to play any of these games that are on there instantly, wherever you are. Pretty cool idea, basically a way of bringing the App Store to a subscription Netflixy type model, which makes sense given the way these services seem to be going across the board right now. Nothing super crazy, mind-blowing, out of this world exciting there, just this cool new service that Apple are going to be providing, and the fact that they've said it's going to launch in the autumn this year with hundreds of brand new games built just for them and just for this service. So that's pretty exciting. There's going to be a whole load of new stuff there. It will, of course, all be much smaller scale stuff. More like mobile game size than actual AAA video game size. And that is where we then jump back to Hello Games and how those two things are related. Because also on March the 25th, just after this Apple Arcade announcement, Sean Murray tweeted this. A picture that is in fact taken directly from the Apple Arcade event that says, "Games that redefine games." That's the tagline for Apple Arcade. That's the little slogan that they're using in all of their advertising. So this was very clearly a reference to Apple Arcade, and the title that he put above the tweet was just one word: Fractal. That was it. No context, nothing else, not talking about the service, just the picture and the word Fractal. Everyone instantly started going absolutely crazy in this thread on Twitter. People saying, how does this relate to No Man's Sky? This is a clue, this is a link, something's about to be revealed. This is definitely a teaser. Oh my god, what does this mean? Games that redefine games? That sounds crazy. What is this? And I don't think it has anything to do with No Man's Sky. And it was, of course, forgotten about pretty quickly after that because the VR announcement came a short while later, which obviously stole all of the thunder. But what do I think this means? What do I think this Fractal tweet was about? Well, it's definitely referencing Apple Arcade. I just happened to have been watching it at the same time that this tweet was made, so I recognized it instantly. I went straight on there and I tweeted hashtag Apple Arcade. And as I sat there thinking about it, the obvious answer to me seems to be that this is a tease for a game that Hello Games are working on for this new Apple Arcade service. Not No Man's Sky. That's not going to be coming to mobile devices. Let's not go too crazy. But I do think it's very likely based on this tweet, unless there's some other obscure reference to the Apple Arcade event, some link that I'm just not getting. I don't really know what else this could be other than a very subtle, typical Sean Murray style reveal of something that's coming in the future from Hello Games. I suspect that Fractal is going to be a small-scale mobile game type project that they've been working on in the background, something that they're going to bring to this Apple Arcade service. It's a new service, it sounds pretty cool, it sounds pretty interesting, they're trying to innovate. Hello Games are all about that kind of thing. It makes sense for them to want to bring a game to this service, and of course they've got a background in making these smaller scale games. That's what they did before No Man's Sky, so I could totally see that being the case. And I think that's what Fractal is going to be. Fractal will probably be the title, or at least a clue as to what this game is going to be about. If I had to guess, and this would be absolute pure speculation because all we'd have to go on right now is the one word Fractal with no further context behind it. My guess would be some sort of sci-fi game, maybe even a proc-gen mobile game, some sort of procedural generation element to it. Something like that would make sense for Hello Games, but really, it could be anything. I just think we're getting a smaller scale project that they've been working on, and this is probably the something new that Sean Murray was talking about in his recent GDC talk. So all of these things are adding up to make this pretty plausible. I don't know what else this could be, and I honestly don't think in this case that it's a particularly subtle clue. You know, I feel like it's pretty in your face. Here you go, guys. Here's a picture of the Apple Arcade service. You know, that one that's bringing hundreds of brand new games in the autumn. Well, I'm going to tweet about it. Why on earth would he be tweeting about it with the word Fractal unless it's because they're working on something that's going to come out on that service? So that's what I think was happening. That's what I wanted to talk about. Nobody really seems to be talking about it. One or two people have caught onto it, but most people, of course, got too excited with the VR announcement, and for good reason. But then it was just dropped and no one seemed to go back to it. So yeah, if you didn't know any of this had happened, it did. Sean did tweet this. You can go and look. March the 25th. There it is. Definitely a reference to the Apple Arcade event at an absolute minimum. I don't know any other reason he would be referring to that unless they're bringing a game to it. I guess the only reservation I've got is that it's possible that one of their partner studios or another studio that they like are working on a game called Fractal that's coming to the service, and this is a very subtle little plug for that. Maybe, I don't know, that seems like more of a stretch than to just think, hey, this is another really small project that they're working on, similar to the last campfire, you know, they've probably got a couple of people working away in the office on this little mobile scale project, and that's just another little new thing that they're doing. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with me? Do you think that's what this is? Do you think this is something else? Are you one of those crazy people that thinks this means No Man's Sky is coming to Apple Arcade, and we're all going to be playing No Man's Sky on our iPhones? I'm going to guess a very strong no on that ever happening, but there are articles picking it up and saying that this could mean that No Man's Sky is coming to that service. It hasn't helped that there has been some pictures going around online of the email that Apple Arcade sent out to everyone with No Man's Sky showing on the screens of their devices. I thought that picture was photoshopped. I got the same email from the Apple event and it didn't have No Man's Sky on it. It had a game called The Pathless on there. So I thought someone had just switched the image, and I think a couple of articles have picked that up and ran with it as if it's a real story. I could be wrong. Maybe some people did get that picture. If they did, I think it's just a mistake. There are a few games that are coming to this Apple Arcade thing that have been announced that have very similar titles to No Man's Sky. Someone could have just made an error. I don't know. All very interesting. The plot thickens. I don't think No Man's Sky is coming to mobiles. Sorry. I do think we're probably getting a new game from Hello Games that's a small scale thing that's going to be exciting. Either way, now you know about this whole situation, and we can go back to talking about all of the crazy No Man's Sky excitement in the next video. Take care, guys, and peace. Before we end the video, I did want to say a very, very big thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. You guys are freaking amazing. Acac, Anakey, Dale from the Atlas Hub, David D, DeadDerezzer, Forgotten Stoner, Heath, Jeremy J, Johannes A, Jtecnique, Kyle Culver, Lukash M, Foraday, Madeline J, Malindog, Mark F, Marky D, Mbao23, Mingrui, Neil B, NTB, Ongrad, Autumn Long, Paul L, Rasmus K, Shirokumajelly, Wise Gek G, Technical Gaming 101, The Golden Gek, Todd C, Todd H, TyTheBlazer, and Vanella. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for continuing to support me and what I do.